All right, for today's deep dive, we're looking into the internal architecture of really top-tier leaders. Our mission here is to explore what might be the biggest shift a leader can make.
Okay.
It's this move from just, enduring responsibility, like it's a burden, to truly owning it.
Yeah.
We want to see what's actually happening inside.
And what we're really looking at is a kind of internal alchemy.
Alchemy.
The sources are calling this the shift from obligation to chosen responsibility. And it's a really important distinction because, well, when something feels like an obligation, it just fires up your nervous system's stress response. It's heavy.
It feels draining.
Exactly. So the alchemy is how these leaders transmute that mental weight into a chosen, regulated posture, a place of authority, and real self-trust.
Okay, let's unpack that. If ownership is the end goal, we have to look at what gets left behind in that process. The sources mention a friction audit.
Yeah.
Is that like a formal checklist, or is it more about, just reflecting on where your energy is leaking?
It can be both, but the real focus is on behavior. The single biggest thing they delete is chronic resistance.
Chronic resistance.
It's that low-grade internal drag. It's what delays projects, leaks energy, and it creates procrastination before you even start doing the thing.
Yeah, give me an example.
Well, think of that difficult email you have to send. You already know what to say, but you spend, 15 minutes drafting it, deleting it, redrafting it. That's the friction.
Right, and that delay, that's the cost of just enduring the task.
Precisely.
So what happens when that's gone? This is where it gets really interesting, because the sources lay out what they call the sovereign proposal. It basically says that when responsibility is truly chosen, not just endured, execution becomes, almost frictionless.
The need for motivation just kind of disappears.
It's replaced by this self-authorizing momentum, pure intrinsic drive.
Exactly. And that raises a really important question for anyone listening. What are you actually stewarding?
What do you mean by that?
If you're just enduring responsibility, you're stewarding effort. And effort is finite. It runs out. But if you're choosing it, you're stewarding your total energy, your capacity.
Capacity. That's the key.
It's absolutely critical for sustained performance and, preventing burnout. You stop counting the hours you work and you start measuring the capacity you can hold.
And that capacity has to show up in the real world, in the results.
It has to.
So the sources give us 3 quantitative metrics for this. They call them the metrics of sovereign value. What are we actually seeing here?
The first one, and you see it almost immediately, is decision-making velocity.
Okay.
The data suggests that those internal hesitation cycles, they get reduced by about 40%.
40%, that's huge.
It is. It means a leader can go from getting information to making a decision on the same day, instead of spending 1, 2, maybe 3 days just in emotional processing or avoiding it because it feels heavy.
So that reduction in the internal drag, that must feed right into the second metric.
It does. Expansion capacity.
And this is the real key to avoiding that classic high achiever burnout cycle, isn't it?
This is it. It's about an increased and, more importantly, a sustained tolerance for visibility, for ownership, for just sheer output. You can handle high performance over months, not just in a 2-week sprint.
You've built the internal infrastructure to hold the weight of your own success.
Without collapsing, yes.
So if we connect that internal self-trust to how you interact with others, that must be the third metric.
And that's magnetic authority. When a leader truly embodies that certainty because they've done the work, they find they need to convince or persuade people about 30% less.
So they're not pushing their authority onto others.
Not at all. Their self-leadership is just, it's perceived, it's elevated. Their authority becomes magnetic instead of something they have to exert. They just are the decision maker.
So the frictionless execution, the magnetic authority, they're really just byproducts of that internal transformation.
Absolutely. The internal work, that cultivation of self-trust, that becomes the product. You're basically selling the alchemy you performed on your own nervous system. That internal coherence is the most valuable asset you have.
Which brings us to a final thought for you to take away. What is the real unseen cost of your current internal drag? What level of capacity are you leaving on the table right now by enduring instead of truly choosing your responsibility? If you're looking to explore this mastery, the concept of the coherent sanctuary is a path to look into that further. We'll catch you on the next one.
So when Gina offered me the opportunity to do this, I jumped for it because I think anything that you can do that is going to chip away at these limiting the beliefs, the things that hold you back is really, really worth doing. So it's been a really lovely experience, and if anybody's a bit worried about it, just do it, because the opportunity to connect through havening is really, really powerful. It's really, really powerful.
But really helpful, I think, in terms of having that kind of guided process just to kind of let the ideas and the feelings and the images flow, and then try and work out what it actually means afterwards, and to come up with, and it made intuitive sense. It's really, really helpful to then kind of have that debrief of, okay, what can we actually do with this stuff? Because that's where we tend to get stuck, is kind of like coming out of it going, oh, this is all some really interesting ideas and thoughts and feelings and images. But yeah, then, you know, how can we actually harness them to do something different? And I think that's been really, really helpful in terms of clarifying really what I need to prioritize to go forward in a way that will deal with some of that stuff that came up.
I would like to point out that I'm actually a therapist myself, and sometimes therapists also need a therapist. So I was really stuck, and then one day a friend posted a link for Gina's wealth and money attracting short course, and I went, this sounds great, I'm just gonna book it. And I loved this so much. I really had an epiphany on that course, and it was only meant to be a demonstration, and yet it was really it just opened up something, possibilities that I was stuck before, and now like, ooh, I can use this to unstuck myself. I'm a great believer that when the student is ready, the teacher appears, and you appeared at the right time. That's all there is to it. So, you know, if anybody's watching this video, it means Gina has appeared in your life. So please give it a try.
She walks where the sky meets the sea, a calm in the chaos, wild and free.